Calories are the thing that matters the most in fat loss. Writ large, period, end of conversation. Calories always mattered among people who study physics and thermodynamics, on the whole, among actual nutritionists that go to school for nutrition, physiologists, medical doctors, researchers. Do calories matter or not was never a question that was asked because it was answered in like 1910 or something like that. There are two kinds of people that say calories don't matter. One group are well-meaning people who have noticed something. They've noticed that when they started to exercise, they've noticed that when they started to eat certain types of foods and not others, that their body changed pretty rapidly. And they noticed that they weren't counting calories, but because they were eating a diet high in fibrous vegetables and lean meats, they didn't have to. They just kept losing weight. Maybe they've had hormonal trouble in the past. Thyroid hormone was low. They got thyroid hormone fixed up through exogenous medication. All of a sudden, things are going great. Testosterone replacement therapy, and so on and so on. They didn't try to track their calories. They didn't try to lower their calories, and they lost fat. So these very well-meaning people, it's totally understandable how they could think, well, geez, I mean, calories matter, I guess, the science book says, but I never tracked my calories, and I lost a ton of fat. How do you explain that? And there's not really a mystery in the scientific community about how to explain that. Your expenditure went up, maybe a little bit. Your intake went down, maybe a little bit. The combination of those two created a net calorie deficit. And that's like 99.9% of the way that anyone ever loses fat. That's really what's going on. Does that mean you have to count your calories? No. Does that mean if you had diets before where you count calories and you really struggle to do it and it doesn't work and you're like calorie counting is stupid, you try to keto diet, you get a massive reduction in appetite, a bunch of your favorite cheat foods you can't eat because they're not keto, you lose a bunch of weight and you're like, see, it was hormones, it was keto, it was never the calories. Well, actually it was always the calories, but the keto diet allowed you to get into a calorie deficit so powerfully that you didn't even need to track calories. You were just never going to make it back to what you could only do with potato chips and ice cream. So that's the group one that is understandable. Group two are people that range anywhere from honestly misinformed folks that have noticed these changes in themselves and have created digital products and YouTube channels to help other folks figure things out, all the way through sociopathic charlatans that maybe know what's really going on and maybe don't, but don't care. And they'll tell you calories don't matter, calorie counting is a myth, because they, some combination of truly believe that to be the case erroneously, or they have no true beliefs. They're just, there's no soul in there, and they'll say whatever the hell they have to get that bottom line for their corporation to go up. Dr. Oz type of people. So a lot of the calorie balance is a myth comes from those second groups of people that make digital content and say these things, and is taken quite well by that first group of people that's like, well, yeah, that's what I've noticed in my life. And that's how you have that continuation of that insane, totally bonkers, upside down myth.
So certain changes that people can make with the choice of foods that they have has a downstream consequence on the amount of food that they eat, and also perhaps the way that they feel, the amount that they move around. Perhaps it's tied in with a more overall change of, I'm going to care about health and I'm going to eat more meat and whole foods and stuff. And that means that maybe they take the stairs a little bit more. And this combination of a reduction of hyperpalatable calorie dense foods on the front end and maybe a little bit of a change on the back end means reliable weight loss over the longer term. This creates fertile ground for magic foods. This is a food that'll burn fat. This is the thing that you need to eat or shouldn't eat or whatever. And that is then sort of slotted into by, that's the fuel is provided to a very sort of dry heap of potential grass that can then be set ablaze by
arsonists of the human mind.
Arson about.
Charlatans.
Arson about.
Yeah, that's very well put.
Okay. Do you have to count calories in order to be successful? If calories are the most important thing that matters, is it mandatory that everyone needs to track calories if they're going to lose body fat?
Great question. It is no more mandatory to count calories in order to lose fat than it is to count your money in order to become wealthy. If your input stream on money is like the Gucci brand level, you don't have to count it. You just have to like forklift the cash into a warehouse or something. God knows what those people do with their money, right? And then, of course, burn it because you're that rich. You don't need the money. So if you are losing weight, you look leaner, your clothes are fitting better and better and better, but you don't count calories, don't you dare start. God bless you. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Keep it up.